fellow tankers, welcome back to my videos. I'm wot Blitz, and today I'm going over the T-34-85 Rudy. Now this is a Tier 7 Russian medium tank, and it's a pretty fun medium tank at that. However, as always, I'm going to get into the statistics first, tell you guys whether or not this vehicle is worth the 5,500 gold price tag it has been stuck on, and show you some epic mastery gameplay. So starting off with these statistics, this tank has 1100 hit points, which isn't a crazy amount at Tier 7, especially for a medium. But as you can see, that LTTB only has 1000 hit points, so it's not a very bad amount of hit points at all. And I do run the hit point buff, and I really would suggest all of you do, so it brings your hit points up to 1170. Now, the view range on this tank is also pretty lackluster at 278.8. It's about average, I'd say, for a medium, but it's not going to be outspotting anybody really that far. And the reason I think the view range is so poor is just because it's, I think, the same as the Tier 6 T-34-85, as it has pretty much the same gun and pretty much the same hull. Everything is almost exactly the same, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. Now, the main selling point of this tank is the gun. It has 2,689 damage per minute. Now, just to give you an example, the video I made on the 59 Patton a couple days ago, that is a Tier 8 medium. That tank only has 2,500 damage per minute. That's a tier higher. That just shows you how much damage per minute this vehicle has. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. We're just going to clear this guy really quickly. We've already lowered him almost 800 health now. Like, that's just ridiculous how quick this tank can shoot. And it sits at a 4.5 second reload, which is just really, really fun. Not to mention, unlike the E25, this is sitting at 200 average damage, which means that you can afford to trade shells to people, at least receive some damage and deal some back out. Now, one of the few downsides of this vehicle's gun is the penetration. It's only sitting at 144 on its standard rounds, and that's because, as I said, it's the same gun as the T-34-85. It's just got a very, very buffed reload. Also, the APCR is only 194. And the issue with that APCR is that you literally cannot penetrate like a VK100 or an IS5 anywhere. Even the lower plate is very, very hard to penetrate, or like a WZ112-2. So that's one of the main issues with it, is the gun's penetration is so bad you have to know how to penetrate enemies. You have to flank. That is one of the main issues with it. But other than that, it really doesn't have any. The shell velocity is very quick at 950 with the AP rounds, and the APCR have 1188, so you're not going to have to worry about your rounds ever missing on shell velocity, so that is one nice thing. The aiming time is also pretty quick. It's only 2.08 seconds, and the dispersion is 0.326, which means that the dispersion is also pretty decent for this gun it has mounted on it. The dispersion factors while moving, rotating, and rotating the turret are also very good. So overall, it has a very nice and accurate gun. It also comes with 8 degrees of gun depression, which is a very healthy amount, especially for the average Russian vehicle, and 22 degrees of gun elevation. The tank only weighs 32 tons, but because it weighs so little, it can go up to 54 kilometers per hour forwards and 20 backwards, giving it an awesome power-to-weight ratio of 22.54. Overall, it's just a very, very quick vehicle. Finally, it has a pretty quick traverse speed of 64.39. And when you add that with the turret traverse speed of 55.89, you're really never going to have to worry about being shot in the side and not being able to snap them before they are able to back around the corner. And finally, this tank has a 27.50 concealment rating while still, which is a very nice concealment ratio. So overall, the stats on this vehicle are very, very good. However, none of those stats mean anything. It's really how the tank performs in battle. And as you can see, this first game I played was pretty sweet. This was a tier 8 match. I was bottom tiered. You could see I had a very tough time penetrating that low, but I was able to flank him, get some shots on the side, same as that Vindicator. That's really how you want to run this vehicle. Use its excellent traverse speed and mobility to get behind vehicles, shoot them over and over and over. And you can see it has a very nice credit coefficient, picked up 63,000. So overall, it's a very nice vehicle, but let's get stuck into that second battle. Now, on to the question about, is this vehicle worth the 5,500 gold price tag? I'm not going to be talking about the 6,500 because I really don't care about equipment slots. I have enough credits to buy them all the way. And I would suggest that you guys don't really buy the equipment slots. It's completely useless. It's just a waste of 1,000 gold. However, the question whether or not this tank is worth the 5,500, personally, yeah, I think it is worth the 5,500 gold. That's not very expensive at all. It's less than $20. Personally, I think that this tank is better than the ISU-130, and I'd say pick this vehicle up over the ISU-130 if you were wondering. I had a couple people in my comment section ask, should I save my gold for any other special vehicles? And to be honest, I think that this is one of the best vehicles in the game. It has an amazing rate of fire, it's very quick, it is kind of overpowered in certain scenarios. I wouldn't say completely broken, it's not like a Dracula, but it can have its moments where it has a very good battle, especially when you're up in a matchup like this against tier 6s. However, you can see the gun is just really not the best at penetrating its target. That's an SU-152, which by no means does not have the best armor. However, it still bounced that guy a couple times, but we were still able to tap him twice, and we've already picked up 800 damage in the first a minute and 30 seconds. See that IS aiming at me? I want to back down. That is one huge weak spot about this vehicle, is it has the same hull armor as the tier 6, which means that when you have a KV-2 or a Smasher or any sort of SU-152-ish vehicle with that high explosive penetration higher than 80, it will penetrate the front of your vehicle, it will penetrate the sides, and which means is that you can potentially be one-shot by very high damage dealing vehicles like an RHM. So when you run this vehicle, you need to be alert, you need to know where all the big alpha guns are, because you will not bounce shells. Even your turret is very weak. A Scorpion G could probably easily go right through the turret of this vehicle, no problem. Cupola doesn't even matter on this vehicle. So you don't want to run this vehicle like it has armor. You want to run this tank like an LTTB. You want to get behind the enemy, annoy them, piss them off, get them to come after you, and then run away and come back again and shoot them a couple more times. You can see here, I'm able to pick on this medium, and that is one of the huge benefits about this tank, is it's really able to pick on mediums super well. You can see I've tapped him for 200 every time he's tapping me for 160, and I'm able to out-reload him surprisingly. Also, they're actually bouncing me, which is another point, is that this tank can be potentially bouncy against the lower caliber cannons because their shells don't have shell normalization, which means that their shells are going to have a very hard time of penetrating your armor if you're able to wiggle it back and forth like you can see I'm trying to do here. And what that means is that if you're able to wiggle it back and forth, they can get some funky angles, just like the Batchat can. So you can see here, wiggle it, he's going to ricochet off the front like that because you can see I managed to over-angle it. So we've already picked up 3,000 damage, killed him, and we're on our 5th kill. Unfortunately, the Tiger P was already killed a little bit back. If we could have gotten that kill, that would have been pretty sweet. Probably one of the best games I would have ever played in this vehicle. But unfortunately, we are hopefully going to be able to get this kill. Yes, we still managed to pick up 6 kills and get the Radley Walters, I think it is, which is still pretty sweet. But that's 3,500 damage. We managed to actually block 1,600, which is quite impressive. So feel free to be super aggressive in this vehicle against tier 6s. Tier 8s, I would not say be aggressive at all unless you have the rear of a tank destroyer. Then by no means should you hold back. But you can see 72,000 credits, not a crazy amount. I didn't really fire any APCR, I don't think. 3,500 damage, pretty sweet. We did pick up the mastery. We actually got a steel wall, which is one of the most surprising things I would have ever thought I could get on this vehicle. But other than that, yeah, I think this tank's worth the price, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video and appreciate my opinion on it. But other than that, guys, I hope you liked it. Make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.